Here is our second candy video. What I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to show you how I created this guy right here. We just went over how to create these three over here. We're now going to come in and we're going to create this guy right here. So let me start off by saying that a number of the steps that it takes to create this are the same in both cases. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm not going to cover again simply because I covered it in the first video. This particular video will be just on how I produced this piece, so it will be shorter and quicker. If you want any other information about what I did to create this, you must watch the first video because I cover a lot more in it. So here's my art. This is the piece that I'm about to create right here, and this one involves two shapes, not one, two. Okay, let me explain to you what this candy is essentially. The candy is a bottom piece of chocolate that's been molded with a top piece of chocolate that also is molded. So if you move these two pieces, you'll see that they're two separate pieces. It's very cool, really. I'm going to go edit undo and edit undo to put these back. Alright, so instead of creating one piece, you're creating two pieces. And I did this just the way I demonstrated. Let me move this down a little bit. I did this just the way I demonstrated in the other video with the pen tool. I drew a straight line, I came down at an angle, and then I clicked and created a curved line. I put a guide out here so I know halfway where I'm going. The top piece is a little bit different. How I created the top piece is I took my rectangle tool and I created a rectangle about like this, okay, somewhere in this neighborhood, and I used this corner point here to click and drag to make a rounded corner. So I end up with something that sort of looks like that. Then I come over here, and under the eraser tool, I have the scissors tool. I come over here and I click on that point, and I click on that point. And then I can come in here, I can grab that piece, and I can delete it, and I have my half of a circle. So that's really how I made that piece. This is with the pen tool, this is with a basic shape tool, and I rounded the corners. Really not hard. Alright, so I'm going to delete this, and I'm just going to move this one back into place, and we should be ready to go. There we go. Whoops, too much right there. Okay, so let's view, zoom, fit, or let's fit artboard and window so we can see the whole thing. And actually, we'll probably zoom in just a bit. All right, so I can do this in one step or two steps. I'm just going to do it in one step, which means essentially I'm going to 3D revolve both of these at the same time. So I marquee them, I select both of them. Oh, and by the way, just so that you notice, they're different colors. This guy here is one color of brown, and this guy here is a different color brown. Okay? And I went into detail as to how I arrived at those colors by using Cooler and also by sampling images that I grabbed for reference. So I select both of these guys, and I'm going to go up to the Effect menu, 3D, and once again I'm going to revolve it. And hit on preview, and boom, there it is. It's already revolved for me. Now, what I'm going to do is yes, off-axis front. I believe that's what I used on the other. So I'm going to hit OK, and there is my revolved objects. It's really that quick and easy. So now what I want to do is, once again, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to find my appearance panel right there, and I'm going to click on that object. Now notice that when I click on that object, that's the top revolved object. What this is basically is it's a two-formed piece of candy. They create the bottom piece in one mold, fill it and seal it, and then they create that disc of chocolate in another mold, and then they sort of weld the two together with chocolate. That's the whole point of this. So what I want to do now that I've got these two things revolved, and just the way I want them, I'm going to come up to this, and I'll double click on the revolve again, and I'll hit preview. And again, this is going to be a very quick demonstration. I'm going to go to Map Art, and I'm looking for my surfaces. So I think, let me just quickly look through the surfaces here. Not showing me the surfaces. I'm not able to see which one it is. I think let's try 1. I think that's the bottom though. Let me go to 10. Let's try 10. I think it might be 10. I'm going to go swirl. And let's see what we got. It's not showing up, so it might not be 10. Alright, so let's go back and ditch it. None. Let's go back. Let's see if we can figure out which one it is. I wonder if that's it. Sometimes it's a little tricky because it's not showing me. I'm not seeing my. Yeah, it's not showing me my. Not showing my sample. None. Let's go back. 7, 6, 5, 3, 2. So maybe it is 1. Maybe it is 2. Let's try 2. Let's swirl. There it is. So it's 2. All right. So it totally tricked me. But that's all right. You know, I mean, that's how it goes. Anyway, all you're doing really is you're mapping this piece of art onto the surface. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to basically make it as big as you need to make it look real. And I think I probably did just what I wanted to do here. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Let's move it around a little bit and get it to place where I want it. I think I like that. I hit OK. And then I hit OK again. And there you have it. I mean, it's really that easy. All you have to do is create the proper profile. And that's what's key with this, is that you're creating the profile. You have to use your imagination. You have to imagine that the object that you're going to try to render in 3D has been sliced into a very thin slice. And then you turn it on its side and you look straight into the side of it. And that right there is what you're going to create your 3D revolved item with. So in this particular case, if I come over here and if I hide this, oh, I got to select it, sorry. And if I go back here and, well, let's see, now it's being really troublesome because I modified it in 3D. So if I undo both of these things or hide them both, this is what I'm talking about. This is as if you had taken this object and turned it on its side, so you're looking straight in sidewise, and then you just sliced it. And then the other thing too is that I don't know whether you can close this or not because I never do. I always leave mine as open to objects. But essentially all you're doing is you're creating an open object. So if you want an object that has 5 or 6 different shapes to it, what you're going to do is you're going to create that object in 5 or 6 pieces. And then you can color them differently and do all this stuff to it. So let me select these and put it back on. I'll click on the bottom one and return the 3D Revolve to that. Click on this one and return the 3D Revolve to this. What I really like about this is that if you have another color in here, let me see what my colors are in here. All right, so I don't really have a lot of color in here, but I can do this in an awful way. If I wanted to, I can click on my stroke is forward. If I wanted to, I can click on red. And you can see that the 3D applies the red to it. That's really doesn't look right. So let me put it back to the color the way it should be. And I think it's probably that color right there. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. That is it. Again, you play with the lights, you play with the shadowing on it, but that is basically all it takes to create this thing. So I hope you watched the first one before you watch this second one. Try them both. You can go and get your own sample candy, do whatever you want, or you can just try recreating what I did here. Thank you very much for watching.